Well, welcome to another edition of the Story Behind the Car, and we're with John. And John, when I saw this, I had no idea what it was other than when I saw the hood ornament. And outside of that, this is all news to me. Oh. So can you tell us about your MG?
Yeah, this one is a 1956 MG ZA Magnette. And the cool thing is, these cars were actually made between 1953 and 1958, and this one was one of 3,000 that were exported to the U.S.
Okay.
The cool thing is, it's got 4 doors, and the drivetrain that's in it now is kind of a non-stock drivetrain.
Okay.
Came from the big store with a 1500cc B-Series engine. The same engine that was used in an MGA like the car next to me.
This one here?
Yeah. The MGA got its drivetrain from the Magnette.
Wow.
And so that's when they started mass producing sports cars, was with the MGA.
Do you know what year this is by chance?
I'm not.
Maybe you were buddies with them.
I am, but I don't remember. This is Rich Berger's car, and I don't remember what year his is.
Yeah.
I think his might be 58 or 59. I'm not certain.
And I know I'm jumping around on you. I'm just curious about the wheels and tires.
Oh, the wheels are fun.
Yeah.
There's a company called Stockton Wheel that used to be in California. They've since closed.
Okay.
But at the time I was looking for new wheels for this car, because the stock wheels are 15 by 4 inch.
Okay.
And the stock tire size is like for an old Beetle, 165/15. I want a little more rubber on the road.
Yeah.
And they had these 4-lug Chevy rally wheels.
Yeah, I was going to say they look like a Chevy rally wheel.
They are, and but with a 4-lug center, not a 5-lug. So
okay.
So the 4-lug pattern fits this car beautifully.
And did the hubcap fit, or did you have to alter it?
Well, no, that's an accessory hubcap they sell for this wheel.
Yeah.
But I put the stock MG hubcap emblems on it.
Yeah.
So it would look kind of like it's an MG part.
Yeah, and it does.
I can't tell you how many people have fallen for. Those are the rare Monte Carlo wheels. It's fun, but on the engine, it's kind of unique because it has a cross-flow head. If you look at that one, you see the carburetors are on the driver's side. This one, they're on the passenger side.
Oh, yeah.
And the big difference is that with the cross-flow head, instead of having a Siamese intake port like a standard head, this one has a separate intake port for each cylinder, which allows for a lot higher flow and more horsepower.
Okay.
And the reason I put this on here is Vic Darrington, who developed the Darrington head, used his Magnette to develop it. Wow. And so it makes a good period modification.
Yeah.
But the aluminum radiator had to happen so that I could keep it cool, because this one makes about triple the horsepower of the stock engine.
And what is the horsepower, roughly?
On this one, about 125.
Is it really?
Yeah. It runs real nice.
Yeah.
Right now I'm still building a limited slip differential for it, because right now if I take off too hard, whichever back tire has the least traction starts smoking, and it gets a little crazy. But if you notice, the gear shift has a 5-speed pattern on it.
Yes.
And that's because this has a kit by a company named High Gear Engineering to put a Ford Type 9 5-speed into an MG.
Wow.
So it has a 5-speed in it, and the rear axle has an MGB differential, because the MGB differential fits in the Magnette housing.
Yeah.
And so it has the 5-speed transmission, a 3.91 differential. The original factory differential in this was 488 gears.
Yeah.
So at 50 miles an hour, the car was just used up.
Yes.
Now it can run highway speeds with everybody.
Very cool.
Yep, and I have also put disc brakes on it to replace the drums on the front.
Yeah.
Just because I needed better power. But what you'll see inside is that all the wood for the dashboard is out right now.
Okay.
I've got all the wood at home because this car originally has a wood dashboard, a wood surround for the inside of the windshield,
Wow.
a wood surround for the rear window, and then wood door cappings for all 4 doors.
Typical British stuff from the
Oh, yeah.
in their heyday when they were still a great nation.
When I first brought this car home, my neighbors came running over, and it was in boxes, so none of the identifying MG emblems were near it.
Yeah.
And they all came running over and said, "I didn't know Rolls-Royce made a compact car," because it has that look.
Yes, it does.
And right here, these are blanking plates because U.S. Laws prohibited them bringing them over with semaphores.
Okay.
Because the semaphores will still bolt on, and several guys in our Z Magnette, ZMG North America group actually have the semaphores on because they'll just bolt in.
Yeah, I know VW had those when the early, I guess, 40s and maybe the 50s.
Into the 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of British cars had them up into the 60s, but for U.S. consumption, they replaced the semaphores with a relay that sits under the hood to convert it to regular style, U.S. style blinkers.
Okay.
But
And can we look at the back seat as well?
sure.
And you said your interior is at home.
Yeah, I did modify this though because the original front seats for this car came from the factory with an air bladder system in them.
Wow.
Called the Dunlop pillow.
Yeah.
And they said if you could ever find a stock Magnette with those original cushions, they're the most comfortable car in the world. But they said the last set of Dunlop pillows for a Z Magnette were gone in the 70s.
Wow.
So I substituted 240 Volvo seats.
Yeah.
The back seat is still stock, and that armrest is kind of a neat piece.
Yeah. And I've never heard of a Dunlop pillow. That's pretty unique.
It's very unique.
Yeah. But I've never heard of a Magnette either. This is all new to me.
Well, and this one is kind of a unicorn Magnette at that. You notice on the gas flap, there is no, the stock, most Magnettes have either a key or a push button to open up this.
Yeah.
This one was one of 500 cars made with nothing. I have to open the trunk to get to the lever to pop the,
To release it.
to open
Yeah.
again the fuel flap.
And there's the MG badging.
Yep.
I always like that.
And on this one, because I was afraid of people not paying attention, this used to be a backup light,
Yeah.
and I converted it to a third brake light just for a little added safety.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get hit in this, I'm sure finding parts are next to impossible.
Well, the last trim pieces that I needed for finishing the body restoration, I was able to find in England a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But in shipping them from England to here, one of them got kind of beat up, and I've got to start doing trim restoration on a piece of stainless steel.
Yeah.
But slowly over time, I'm trying to get all the mechanicals done first,
Yes.
and then go ahead and blow it back apart to do all the body work.
And originally, would the battery be longer?
Yeah, the original battery was side to side, and it came out to about here.
Okay.
They were huge,
Yes.
but a Miata AGM battery fits in there and has all the power I need to fire it up.
Yeah. And you're able to carry a quart of oil and
Oh,
some
and
other stuff.
the indispensable thing, if you have SU carburetors, you got to have
Oh.
your bottle of oil to fill the dampers.
Yeah. Oh, that's oil. That's not gas.
No, it's just oil.
Yeah.
No, these two dampers here are vacuum operated,
Okay.
and you have to put oil in them so you can control the rise of the damper.
Okay.
If you don't, then the car will run terribly.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, I used to be a mechanic at an MG Jaguar dealership.
Okay.
I cannot tell you how many times people came in complaining of poor running, and I'd take them out and I'd show them, see the dampers,
Yeah.
lift them up, they're totally dry, squirt a little oil in, boom, done. And they run like a champ.
Yeah.
And I could not get people to actually take that time when you're filling them up with gas to add oil to the dampers. That's all there is to it.
And I'm sure a lot of those guys just got to the point where they just, okay, there's $250. Your car's running fine now.
Yeah, well, and the other point is, they say, oh, those SU carburetors are terrible. And because every time they hiccup and the dampers are dry, I can't tell you how many folks would get out with a screwdriver and start dinking with them.
Yeah.
And then they're messed up. And
Yeah.
so for me, every Monday morning at the shop was how many MGs were being tuned by their owners that I have to now reset the carburetors once the dampers are full.
Yes.
Other than that, they're dead nuts reliable.
Yeah. And
But-
that's your heater, blower motor.
Yep.
Not a turbo.
Nope. But that's going to go away pretty soon because I'm going to give in to my age and put air conditioning in the car.
Yes.
And because there's no room in front of the engine to add a compressor, I'm going to go ahead and put an electric compressor on it.
I've been watching those on YouTube, just learning more about them.
Yep. And that space right there is where I'm going to, I think, mount the air compressor.
Yeah.
But that'll necessitate me changing the alternator
Yeah.
to get a stronger one. But I did, when I first got this car, I converted it from 12 volt positive ground to 12 volt negative ground to be able to use an alternator because it's a lot more reliable than a generator.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, anything else we should know before we wrap things up?
Well, just that it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's every place I go, I'm the only one there.
Yeah. And a head turner, and I'm sure people ask a lot of questions.
Yep. It's unique and it's comfortable, and on long trips, it is absolutely a joy to drive.
Wow. Well, thank you so very much for sharing your car and the story behind your car.
Thank you.